Hello everyone and welcome to another exciting episode of Let's Meet, the first all-English international broadcast program for international communication in Chongqing, produced by the WCICO. I'm your host, Alex. Today we have a special guest visiting our city. Meet Neil, a financial strategist born in England but living in a tiny island called the Isle of Man and making his first-time journey to China. His YouTube video content covers economics, investment finance, and geopolitical news, alongside insights of quality of life, living standards, safety, taxes, and personal experiences from all over the world.
Live stream. In today's video, we are going to talk about the real reason, the truth behind why Trump wants Greenland and the Panama Canal. But we've got a lot of stories. If this is your first time on the Walk and Talk, I basically just save you a ton of time, only telling you the most important geopolitical, economic, financial news of the week. The UK inflation just went up to 10.4%. And the headline is, shock, and no one can believe it. And all the analysts got this wrong. And whether you live in a developed nation or an undeveloped nation, rich nation, poor nation, this is going to affect everybody. So what am I talking about here? The BRICS summit.
Today, Neil is in Chongqing, and together we are taking a walk through the city and engaging through insightful conversation. I want you to check it out. Good morning, everyone, from the beautiful Chongqing, China, one of the largest cities on earth here. I'm here with Neil McCoy-Ward. Hello, Neil.
Hey, welcome everyone. I'm keeping the sunglasses on. It's bright today in Chongqing. You didn't tell me it gets this sunny.
Geopolitical analyst here, Neil, is very intelligent on that for sure. Shall we go for a little bit of a walk?
Yeah,
cool.
Let's do a walk and talk.
All right. I think it's important, our viewers, when someone comes to China, and definitely someone that's coming to China for the first time here, what they have maybe read about in the West, maybe your first impressions.
And one of the things I like actually about how you guys do things here is how quickly things get done and are well maintained. You can see that even just walking as we go around the park here, it's maintained quite beautifully actually. In the Western media, I was led to believe, and I wanted to come here myself to find out, but in the Western media, they kind of say, ooh, the Chinese, they really don't like Westerners. Be careful if you go to China. They don't like you. And, they're obnoxious, they're rude, they're going to be like this towards you. I've had the complete opposite experience. Complete opposite. They've been friendly to me. They've asked for pictures. The kids have come up and waved, hello, hello, practice their English. And
where do you think China is heading?
I can tell you exactly where it's headed. They're really interlinked. You've got to understand economics if you want to understand geopolitics. It links in with finance, and it links in with military, and it links in with leadership. You've always got to look at the leadership. You have strong leadership, and you're going to have a successful country. What I have observed and what I have studied is the economics. And what you have here is people that are very motivated. They're motivated to there's a community spirit and there's a spirit of cohesion. People are looking after each other. The police are very active. So what I see here is progress, mass progress.
Let's talk about the city of Chongqing here. Of course, it's got a beautiful skyline at night. We were at top of the World Financial Center last night and had a look at the city. Neil, 590 meters above the clouds in that World Financial Center here in Chongqing. First impressions.
Mind-blowing, amazing. The views are incredible. I don't think I've ever been up this high before on a building.
And what do you think about our city? You've been walking around here for a couple of days?
There's an energy about it. It's very vibrant. it hits on all your senses, I guess. Because I've not experienced it before, it's hard to describe, but there's the smell, the sights,
Maybe a
the
bit
feeling.
futuristic.
Yeah, futuristic with the juxtaposition of the old and new. It's not like anywhere I've been before. I mean, just look at this place. It's beautiful. Look at this park. You can't get a city this size right now anywhere that I've seen without there being, where's the trash on the floor? Everything's clean. There's no gangs hanging around. I'm not gonna get mugged and my shoes stolen. It's lovely. I think anyone who lives here is fortunate to have this place. The bigger the city, the bigger the opportunities is what I see here.
And you and I have talked about this city, its importance for logistics and part of the Belt and Road, and you really see that this is quite a special city in China here.
Yeah.
That was not like this 20, 30 years ago.
No, I saw the pictures last night.
That's right, yeah.
At the bottom of the financial center there. And it was amazing how this has been built in such a short space of time. It's quite, one thing that really impresses me here is the speed of building. So the fact that you guys can build so quickly here and efficiently, I think is great.
Neil, maybe you want to say something to the Let's Meet viewers?
Oh, wow. Okay. How many people are going to be watching?
Millions.
Millions. Wow. Firstly, I'm having a great time in China. Thank you for inviting people like me to come. I know the Western governments haven't been overly kind to you. I think the country is just it's going from strength to strength. And I think he's just doing great. You know, whatever happens, I think China's going to do well either way. So thank you.
After exploring Chongqing and enjoying the stunning night skyline and shopping like a local, Neil shared his first impression of this mega city and China with his viewers. Let's dive into the highlights together.
I'm just going to give you my own honest opinion today of what I've seen based on this one city of, I think it's something like 35, 36 million people. So you would think it would be absolute chaos, but it's actually quite well organized, but believe it or not. I always think whenever I go to a place, the people is the best gauge for me. I've got to admit, I was quite surprised. I have been quite surprised, because especially as a big city, usually when you go to big cities, people in general are not as friendly as you might expect in small rural places, right? And I was always given the impression, especially by Western media, that Chinese people are very cold, very rude, obnoxious, and all these other, stuff. Actually, I've just got to say that has not been my experience. I came here thinking that a lot of the Chinese people would have deep resentment towards me and my wife. I'm obviously British, my wife is American, but that hasn't been the case. I was really surprised by how friendly everyone's been, wanted to come over and say hi, wanted to take pictures together. The other thing this city is quite well known for is technology. So it's supposed to be the most advanced, technologically advanced city in the world. Some of the stuff is mind-blowing, absolutely mind-blowing. It's quite interesting, actually. You have people selling things on their tiny little market stall with all these phones set up, and they're just taking payments over the app. I just wanted to see how this payment thing worked. All right, I've just done my first shopping trip here then. That was quite interesting. I really like this area. I'm not sure why. It just feels very, very Chinese, very traditional. There's just so much going on everywhere. I like it. Prices here are incredibly cheap. I was not expecting these prices at all, but I mean, I guess I should have done, because this is where everything is made, of course. But yeah, even a lot cheaper than even Bangkok, for example. The other metric I always look at when I visit any city or any country is crime, as you know. It's one of my big ones. And I can honestly, hand on heart, say that I haven't seen any crime, none at all. haven't seen any homeless people, haven't seen any drug addicts, I haven't seen any litter. I mean, everything's very efficient. I don't know what to say. I'm surprised. I didn't expect this at all. That's why I think people call it Planet China. I'm really glad I've come on this trip. It's taught me a lot more about China in general, the culture, how they do business, the politics here and how that works. I've really changed a lot of my views actually. So I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching today.
You heard it, China is doing great indeed. Next, we sat down with Neil for his take on the latest headlines, including the TikTok controversy in the United States and its media coverage. But let's talk TikTok. 107 million active users in the United States, 7 million businesses rely on it on a daily basis there, whether it's a flower company, whether it's somebody dancing, whether it's somebody having yoga lessons or influencers. Why does America, why are they forcing or potentially saying you have to move this intellectual property to the United States, you got to sell it to an American company, or it's all going dark?
Yeah. Most of the media has always been controlled by one parent company. Most of the media companies. There's the same group that owns both sides, right? So what have they always had? They've always had complete control over it. Because you remember it was radio first.
Yep.
Then it went through to, we're starting to lose control. It went to the TV. And now it's moved again to the internet. And now we're moving from the internet into these social things in your phone, like TikTok.
Okay.
Now, if you have spent much time on TikTok, especially the Western...
A little bit.
Yeah, the Western stuff. It's fascinating because it's user-driven news.
Oh.
That's what it is.
Okay.
And some of the biggest accounts for news are just individuals. And they're creating the news and they're doing their own independent research. And people don't like that.
Yeah.
The US government, there's lobbyists.
Yeah, no, lobbyists are just...
Yeah.
That's why maybe the new energy vehicles haven't really made it to the shores, because the oil companies want to stay in power, and the oil companies are connected to petrol-powered cars. The petrol-powered cars have the lobbyists, or pharmaceutical companies.
Yeah, I mean, this goes back, you can go all the way back to Who Killed the Electric Vehicle, which was a short documentary that came out.
That'd be interesting to watch that.
It came out decades ago. It's fascinating. They had an electric vehicle, and it got killed by the petroleum companies. So they actually had this tech, a long time ago, and they killed it, right? I try not to look at it as good and evil, which is the easiest way to look at it, but I always just look at it as money.
Neil shared his observations from his Chongqing trip on social media. Let's see how the viewers reacted. We're at the Chongqing market for the big first purchase. How much money are we spending?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Let's have a look at these.
Okay, here we go.
Oh, those are beautiful.
I mean, to be honest, I feel obliged to buy them. These ladies have been so kind. I was just curious to make how you make a payment, but now I'm so obliged because so many of them have come around to help.
Oh, there's
100. All right. Okay, I have no idea how much that is. 100, okay. And then what do I do, Alex?
Press the red, okay, and now the password will come up. And it's like this.
Okay.
Which is, we'll scan to you.
Yeah. Go and put your password in. Okay, so the password is in. Yeah. All right, is that done? Is the payment done?
Yeah, it's okay.
It's okay? You get it?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, excellent.
I hope you enjoyed today's episode of Let's Meet, showcasing new Chongqing to the world. I'm your host, Alex. See you next time with a new guest.